Chosen ones are not meant to just become millionaires in the worldly sense. You hold a calling. It is much different. Are you going to be wealthy? Yes. Most of us have very wealthy callings. But a calling is more than just a business. If God wanted to make you a businessman or a businesswoman, you probably already have that. You probably be someone on Instagram right now flexing your business. You know, that would be you. But that's not you. You're going through test after test after test after test after test. And I could probably say that 1,000 more times because it's the truth. You are being tested, going through a spiritual training because you have a calling that's going to echo throughout eternity. What you do is going to impact thousands of people who know you personally right now. What you do is going to affect the next generation in a way that you can't even truly comprehend. You know, the life that you live is going to affect your son and daughter in a way in which they are going to want to build off of the back of the work that you have done. All right, chosen one, you got a calling. You have a calling to help shape eternity. You are helping to shape God's kingdom in your own unique way. It could be as simple as, having, a facility in the community in which people can play sports. It could be as simple as that. Or you could be somebody who, throughout these hard times that are coming up, is able to house, clothe, and feed people. It could be as grand as that. You could develop a whole new infrastructure and to be able to process payments in a way that is outside of the reach of the people who are in power. It could be as grand as that. Either way, chosen one, you have a calling, which is much different than just being a business owner. Will you have your own businesses? Yes. Will you have your own assets? Yes. Will you have your own everything? Yes. But mind you, the spiritual university training it takes to become someone who is capable of handling a calling, responsible enough to steward God's blessings, it takes time. Because if God were to give you this calling too soon, if he were to not train you properly and put you through the endless test and to test your endurance, to test your faith, the calling will crush you. It will crush you and it will absolutely ruin your life. That's why God is so patient. That's why God is allowing you to go through so much. That's why it feels like you've been in this testing forever. So recognize, chosen one, that God has got your back. I'm going to need you to see this testing, these temptations, this season of lack. I need you to see that season of scarcity with positivity and recognize that what God has allowed you to experience is to descend into the negative polarity of life, to descend in the negative polarity of being broke, of experiencing material scarcity, of experiencing isolation, loneliness, hunger, desire, and all these things. So you have the capability of handling the opposite of that. You have descended into the negative polarity, so you could ascend so high into the positive polarity, and you could actually handle it because both are intense. Most people will reject descending into negative polarities, deep negative polarities. So to say we're at 0, most people will reject going to negative 100 polarity. God's trying to take you to negative 1,000 polarity because that's very intense. So therefore, you've experienced that amount of pressure. So therefore, you are safe to go to a positive 1,000 polarity. Okay? Most people don't even want to experience negative 100 polarity. So they're not even eligible to experience a positive 100 polarity because they cannot handle the intensity. Chosen one, you are being called, recruited, and trained through that negative polarity that you are experiencing in life. So see that in a positive light. See it as a training that no university, no institution can put you through. Recognize that God is putting you through something that not most people go through, which means that you're going to have results that most people do not have. Keep going.